right, good morning and welcome to Rapid Dawn. It is a beautiful Monday morning right here in the nation's capital. The weather is beautiful, cold, and nice. I like it. The kind of weather I would just not want to be here with you, but a day without you is going to be empty. So I'm here. How are you guys doing? Hope you enjoyed your weekend. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and of course, I am not alone.
Hello, good morning and welcome. I was about to say bright and beautiful day, but I just realized it's not such a bright day after all. But guess what? It is the best kind of day to be with you. Never mind what Cynthia is saying. It is the most
So I'm the bad guy.
opportune time to spend with you, especially on a Monday like this. 6 more days now before we get into the second half of the year. How did we get to this point?
We've already been in the second half. How many second half do we have?
This is June 6th. I still know my maths lessons. I mean, I know I wasn't so great at maths, but I mean, this is the 6th month, isn't it? And then there are 12 months. So that means from the next month, that's like 6 more months to go. Yes. God bless my maths teacher.
Oh my God. All right, guys. I'm definitely sure that you are, preparing to either go out or you're already out if you're like us that has to step out very early. Or if you're in places like Lagos where you have to be out very early in the morning, definitely you don't want to meet the traffic on the road. So or maybe you might likely be watching it later on in the day from our YouTube channel. Still good to have you this morning. I do hope that you had a great weekend, and I am very optimistic that your new week is going to be pleasurable.
Did you have a great weekend?
Why did I use that word pleasurable?
I mean, I would have gone for fulfilling, profitable, rewarding. Those are a lot of words that could fit in, but I mean, if you are out there shopping for pleasure,
like I would. Well,
does pleasure pay the bills? This is Monday.
This is
Monday.
All right, so it's a Monday, and usually we like to motivate you. We like to keep your energy on 100, on a very high pace and high level frequency. So we're going to start with these words of power. These words are from Pastor Selma. Apostle Selma, like he is widely called. These words, devil bless you. We'll be right back.
Respect failure as much as you respect success. In fact, fear people who have not failed. They are too innocent to counsel you. There is a requisite level of failure you must carry as a badge to balance your understanding in counseling people. Believe me, anybody who comes to you with 100 over 100 is still a child in the school of success. There is a requisite scar that gives you a balanced perspective. Have you failed enough to be able to talk to me? Don't tell me all the stories. I just prayed and the person was healed. I just spoke and they gave me an auditorium. You are not the person to counsel me. I respect you. Carry your results until you learn the other side of life. My goodness, there are people that have failed enough and they can talk to you. When they talk to you, they utter from their pain. Their pain has been turned to wisdom. Every sentence is a life lesson. A woman who tells you, I have been barren for 10 years. Now God gave me 3 sets of twins. Forget the twins and learn wisdom. Don't just respect crowns, respect scars. The wise respect both scars and crowns. Can I encourage someone? Your failure is still an asset. Don't throw it, archive it. It will be one of the qualifiers for your speaking to people tomorrow. Apostle, I have cried. I have failed in life. I know what it means to be an irresponsible father. Don't throw that experience, archive it. One day you will use from that wisdom and mentor an arrogant young man who thinks life is so easy. Most times when we are starting out in life, because of the leverage of prayer, the prophetic, or generally life just playing games with you, you can believe life is so easy and you are wondering, so why are people crying like this? I just got married and 3 months, it's been so rosy. In fact, my wife is the best thing that has happened to me. And you go online and embarrass yourself. And someone who has been married for 15 years, he said, may God help you. After 2 years, you just turn and start saying, life is unpredictable. All these unwise things that people do. Do not just respect those who have succeeded alone. Respect those who have failed. Not everybody fails. Respect those who have failed. Failure is an asset when you can turn it to power. Paul said, let no man trouble me. It is not only anointing that I have, there are scars. Gentlemen, don't just look for those who live in mansions. Go and look for mama and let her teach you the secret of happiness in a hut. There is something you need to learn, because the money you think will come from the mansion, you will be surprised. You don't know the depression and the drugs that surround those mansions. Sometimes you need to learn from both a king, but you need to learn from the slave that is in his palace. There is something the slave can tell you that even the king does not know. The slave is the one who cleans the palace. He knows what he has seen there. Why will the Lord speak to a young virgin through an angel and says, Mary, you are highly favored? And the next thing that follows that woman is pain, controversy. There was nothing in the life of Mary that I have seen that looked like favor. An angel comes from heaven and says, you are highly favored. I would expect the king to call her and say, I had a dream. There is free land for you. As soon as Jesus is born, you become tax-free. That sounds to me like favor. So God calls scar favor. He calls controversy favor. He calls pain favor. Why would you say a woman is high? God is speaking to someone. Don't listen, you may cry, but don't be embarrassed about your failures again. There is something about the speaking of God, that until you are at your lowest moment, there is something about the voice of God you cannot hear. There is a pain requirement to hear certain things about God. Tonight's message is very deep. For some of you, you really will not understand it this night. You are too innocent. You have been shielded by the sacrifices of others. You may not really understand this. There is a pain requirement that brings out the clarity and the purity of the voice of God. There is a way a man of God fails and fails and fails in ministry, that he goes back and he says, Lord, teach me. When he writes a book about the leadership of the Spirit, read it. That pain has purified any flesh and the need to make a name. It's gone. That is the reason why when people go through things and they come out of it, they usually come out with an anointing. Barren for 16 years, laughed at by people. As she gets triplets, it's not only children she got. The day she speaks over you, she will terminate barrenness in a moment, because every time she sees you, like the high priest, she's touched with the feelings of your infirmity. Let me tell you the truth. You see, many of you see today that I pray for people and I'm just speaking and you see the power of God. It's not only prayer and anointing, no. There is a pain requirement that has reached down to the bowels of power and has drawn genuine, authentic spiritual power.
Words of power, like I like to call it. I think that there's someone watching or someone who's gonna watch and is definitely gonna get blessed. Like I always like to tell my people, how can I speak about light, the importance of light when I haven't experienced light and darkness. So it's always not good when you have just one angle to seeing things. And I always like to say that life is not always black and white.
Exactly.
There's purple, there's blue, there's pink.
It's good when there are some people who, by virtue of how they were born, the family they were born into, there are certain things that they cannot relate with. There are certain realities that they may not be able to understand. But for some people, usually those who came from the other side of life where things were not so rosy, where nothing was handed down to you, but by reason of whatever, determination, the grace of God, hard work, grace, and all of that, you've been able to become a person of substance, as it were. I think those kind of people tend to appreciate more, the journey of life and the fact that it is not usually as easy as some people think it is. So yes, there is that place of not having everything that you want handed down to you. There is something that it's meant to teach you. Not having everything that you want at the moment, that is what it definitely teaches you. It somehow builds your character, as it were. But I mean, when you have it so easy, you may not be able to appreciate certain things, certain gifts, whether it's wealth, whether it's career success, whether it's the blessing of a great marriage or a great relationship. I think that having to pass through certain kinds of tests, let me put it like that, it does help you appreciate better, these things eventually when you have them.
Though slightly, I do believe that every single person at different phase always experience failure, be it a wealthy man or if I want that is general to everyone, is failure. Whether you're a poor man, whether you're a rich man, whether you're middle class, whether you're intelligent, non-intelligent, whatever category you belong, every single person experiences failure. And it could be failure in different ways. It could be career failure. It could be marital failure. It could be life.
Deficiency.
It could be, yeah, it could just be, there's hardly a person who can say, I haven't experienced a deficiency in one thing in my life, no matter who you are. And it's one thing that, but the only difference is a lot of times when, let's say people from the upper class tend to talk about their failures, those that are down get to feel like, is that one failure? But on their level, it is a big deal.
Yes.
So it's all about relate with what comes to you, but at the same time, like he said, anybody who speaks to you and tells you they have never experienced any form of failure before, then that's not who you want to listen to. I mean, because they may not be able to relate to you at some point. All right, let's now move on to something that happened yesterday. It was a sad moment for members of Christ Embassy Church, where their headquarters in Oregon greeted them with fire. And as at this morning, we haven't heard of any death yet. To God be the glory. Let's have that on the screen. So yes, this is the headquarters of the Christ Embassy. Yesterday morning, it was a sad situation. I mean, in the morning of Sunday, you expect that you should have let's say a good Sunday service. Yeah, that's the video right there. It was really, really massive. It was really something. Now, for someone like myself, I am a bit concerned. This is 2024. And yet again, this is another fire incident on the Christ Embassy Church. I am concerned, and I do not know if the leadership of the church is concerned. What is it that they are not doing right, or what is not in place? This is not the first fire incident of the church. There was one in 2014, there was one in 2016, and now in 2024. There is yet another fire incident. What exactly should there be an investigation? What exactly is really going on in this is where we talk about history repeating itself. Whatever would have happened that caused the fire the first in 2014 should have been checked, should have been addressed, and then again another one came, and now another one came. So even though the pastor of the leadership of the church, Pastor Chris, did address the situation during his Sunday set, I think we have a video of that. Let's have that on the screen.
something like this happens, you look at it, what does God think? God just gives us an opportunity to do something about it. That's all. What are we going to do? Okay, great. It's a house of God. All right, it's been burnt down. Okay, all right. We'll clear out the place, build a better one, a more beautiful one. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And let the devil lick his wounds. Yeah, that's it. Because we must look at life from the spiritual. This is not what you call an accident.
Okay, Pastor says it's not an accident.
It is what?
I would have loved to see the other part of his preaching or his message so we could properly describe the situation or exactly the incident as it happened in his own words. But I do not think that, this is a Christ Embassy thing. You mentioned that they had suffered this sort of unfortunate incident before. I think earlier this year, also in Lagos, I think it was Pastor Shola Oshumakinde's church, the Household of David, and that was even before their major conference for the year, where their massive auditorium was gutted with fire. There are lots of things, lots of issues that could lead to something as devastating as this, from electrical faults to faulty connections, to pouring the wrong liquid, playing around fire, or it could actually just be an accident. Lots of issues could have led to this. Lots of issues that probably could have been avoided. But the truth of the matter is that it could happen to anyone. Now, the investigation, I believe, should be into where all the necessary precautions that should have been taken to avoid a situation like this, were they taking? And I wouldn't know what the response of the National Emergency Management Agency of the Lagos State branch, I wouldn't know how swift their response was, to be able to contain, as it were, this fire incident. But all the same, my heart goes out to the leadership, the pastors, the leaders, and members of Christ Embassy Church, the Believers Love World. And like Pastor said, they're going to come out bigger and stronger. He spoke about clearing out the place and even building a bigger structure. Part of that statement was that initially when they built the building, that they noticed something, the first time that they worshipped there. And then they had to call in the engineers to come check the place, and then they got certification to, go ahead. Nothing was ever going to go wrong. So if they needed any sort of confirmation that, okay, this might not have been, all things were not properly put together, well, this has now happened. I'm sure they would make amends where necessary. If at all there were things that they did not do right the first time that they put the building together.
Okay. Definitely, hopefully, like he said, they will build a massive structure. You really don't want to know what people on the social space really think about that statement. I would just leave it there. So we can run over.
We can't go there, Lito. We can't go there.
No, we don't have time for that. Let's run to health this morning because your health is very important. So on health this morning, my loves, we're going to be talking about reduced stress with this mind quieting tips. If you're like me that easily gets stressed and grumpy and worked up and
Okay.
You're going to reduce that.
So that stands for, or that represents anxiety. That was what she was trying to do with the,
I didn't say anxiety. I just did yeah.
yeah, translated into anxiety. So.
Oh my
yes.
God. So this health tip is for you.
Yeah. I mean, when you walk out there on the streets, it's very rare for someone to walk up to you and ask you how much that your clothes, you bought your clothes. But you would get comments regarding how fashionable you are, how stylish you look. You would get comments regarding that. So I mean, if you have a great fashion sense, you should get by a couple of occasions with what you might call low budget. But I think there are situations, there are occasions where you may just need to go all out, you know, break the bank, go out of your way, you know, to look good. If it's a festivity, if it's a celebration, yeah. And this is, it's not in a bid to impress anyone, yeah. It's just you trying to look your best. It's just you trying to enjoy life, basically. It's not about anyone.
Enjoy life.
Yes. I
Were
mean,
you not enjoying life
is
before?
meant to be enjoyed. Make it a
That's
habit.
my motto.
Make it
Chop
a
life.
habit to treat yourself to things that are nice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's
The luxury
important.
clothes, the shirts that sell for 20K, they were produced for somebody. Do you get? They were produced for human beings with one head, and you have one head. Yeah. So I mean, why not?
All right. So if you look at your time, it's about 10 minutes to 8 o'clock. And of course, you know, at 8, it will be time for sports, where I'll be running out of here and have a break from the worries of Ugochukwu. But before then, let's learn some new words this morning. It's important. Like a day without learning new words is an incomplete day. So even if I don't remember, you are going to remind me that I did not give you new words today. So, but today I have new words for you. And then we have a word of the day. You like that, right? Let's have our first new word. Okay, this is our word of the day. Let's start with the word of the day. You want to take that?
Fecundity. Okay. Fecundity. What it means is that the fact of producing or creating a lot of new things, ideas, etc., etc. That is, the fecundity of his mind far exceeded that of the average person, which is what made him such a great creator. I beg your pardon. Oh wow, the level of fecundity right here on Rapid Dawn is quite ravishing.
All right, that's the word of the day. Let's now move to our new words.
Paranoia. And it is the belief that the universe is conspiring to help you. And it is the opposite of paranoia. I think I love the first one, paranoia. The belief that the universe, no matter whoever the universe is, it could be in the form of a person, could be a thing, could be a series of events, conspiring to help you, conspiring that some money is going to enter your account today.
50 billion.
Conspiring that you're going to get that call about that job that you've been hoping for. Conspiring that you're going to meet the love of your life, the woman or the man of your dreams. And so, cheers to you if, you know, that's your belief, that's your hope today. All the best. And this quite yet another word. Equanimity, and what it means is a calm mental state, especially after a shock or disappointment or in a difficult situation. So I can imagine is not an easy situation to be in a calm mental state, especially after a shock or disappointment, or I mean, imagine being in a difficult situation, and that is the moment where, like that movie Panda, you know, they talk about inner peace. Yeah. So, I mean, it could pass for that as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've exhausted our new word for today, I'm sure that you will thank me for giving you all these
Thank
gracious
us.
words.
You're welcome.
Okay, you thank him, the reader,
I don't understand.
and you thank me for having you in mind to bring new words for you this morning. All right. So before we finish up, and we still have some time to 8 o'clock. Now, I was the story of the gold bar that the ministry, you know, the first, in fact, first of all, Ugo asked me this morning, does Nigeria have gold?
I mean, we are a nation that's blessed with lots of
Oh my
mineral
God.
resources.
Really?
And I mean, it wouldn't be totally surprising to me that, you know, domiciled in the rich earth of our nation is something as valuable as gold.
Right.
But-
Absolutely.
But I mean, there are lots of questions now arise.
Like,
Has it always been there?
oh well, I think that
If
is
yes, who has been benefiting from it?
okay. I think
If
that would.
no, why did it take us so long to discover that we were as like? I mean, come on, this is gold we're talking about.
Oh my God. No, we will have that conversation another day. So, yesterday, our very honorable Minister Dele Alake did make a post on his public page talking about, he said, I am pleased to report that the National Gold Purchase Program, which aims to increase our country's reserve and boost the value of the Naira, is making significant progress. Recently, I had the honor of presenting the latest gold bars to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The bars were sourced from artisanal and small gold miners and refined by an agency of our ministry, which is the Solid Minerals Development Fund. They have met the London Bullion Market Association Good Delivery Standard and will soon be sold to the Central Bank of Nigeria to strengthen our foreign reserves. Now, this marks the first commercial transaction under the National Gold Purchase Program, which is a centralized offtake scheme supported by a decentralized aggregation and production network of small-scale miners and cooperatives. He also said that he is proud to announce that this first commercial transaction has resulted in a substantial increase of over $5 million in Nigeria's foreign reserves assets. The refinement of the over 70 kilograms of gold to the London Bullion Market Good Delivery Standard and the successful aggregation of locally mined gold, injecting around 6 billion naira into the rural economy. I mean, we would say congratulations. We would say this is something good. We would say that these are the kind of stories we like to hear. I just believe that there are some ministries that are really putting in the work to make sure that they do something. Before now, we were not really hearing much about the Ministry of Minerals, or we're not really hearing much from them. But since this new minister, he's been active. He's been active. He has been out there. He's been trying to make sure that things are, it may not, I mean, I saw some of the comments, you know, when this was made, when he released this statement. I saw the comments, someone saying, oh, how does this affect the price of Gary in the market? How does this, you know, that is what the average person just wants to see. But then again, this is good for the economy.
Those questions can be accommodated, especially considering the fact it's not the first time it's happening. It did also happen during Buhari's tenure, where they said gold bars were purchased from artisanal miners in Zamfara State and all of that. So forgive some Nigerians who think that this might all be a ploy, to propagandize, the whole thing about governance. People are actually concerned about seeing whatever it is that you're doing there in government, can it have some real effect on the people? Can the people, be able to afford the most basic things? Can they be able to enjoy what we call the dividends of democracy? That is what the people are concerned about. But I mean, from the papers, it does look good for our economy, especially because of the fact that gold is such a valuable commodity, appreciates in value. Its value is also global. So yes, it does look good, but I mean, I would not berate anyone who is concerned about how this affects the ordinary Nigerian.
All right, so we would it's almost time for
Is this a
sports.
point where we say congratulations to one of the finest artists to come from Nigeria, or do we leave that till later?
I'm talking about sports. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Guys, we have a hater. We have a hater in the studio.
Hater of what, please? Please, let's have Bronny James and
my goodness.
Lassa Piping. Lassa Piping, 49, did say that she's having a crush on Bronny James. You know who Bronny James is?
Why
LeBron James'
will she
son.
not?
Why should she?
Why will she
This
not?
guy is almost a minor. Really? Come on.
What's it called? NBA money now your mate.
I mean, Lassa is 49.
So why you ask yourself why isn't she crushing on someone else her age, or just a random guy on the street?
Why are you crushing on LeBron's son? Let Savannah not catch you.
Why?
She's gonna
why must-
give you that. Let Savannah not catch you. I mean, come on. We know he's cute, right? He got the fire. He's he's looking like to take after his father, But woman, make Savannah not catch you. If Savannah James holds you, your blood is gonna run dry.
holds him how?
Holds her, man.
Okay. On the
Savannah
Okay.
is the mother of Bronny.
I get it. I get it
You-
now.
you
but I
want-
think that whole dynamic, it's something that is as old as time itself.
What is as old as time exactly?
But maybe we'll continue that conversation right after, like on the other side. What do you think?
That sort of where?
On the other side of life.
No. We are not continuing anything on the other side of life. We will continue it here on this side of life. This very side. That's just it.
Oh my
This why
goodness.
you're chasing me away so soon. It's like,
It's not about that. I have quite a lot to talk about. My team, Aimba, have qualified for the continent. Another of my team, Abia Warriors, survived relegation.
please, which person did they give 4 million naira fine?
That would be no. It was. I think they
After the fine.
reduced.
They
I think.
they reduced the
Yeah,
fine
they
to 4
reduced
million.
the fine because apparently what Aimba fronted as the major case was the fact that the stadium was overcrowded. Yeah, so that did form a very good foundation for the chaos that broke out towards the end of the match. I can imagine that if proper measures were put in place to control the crowd and have the exact number of people that the stadium has capacity to take, probably, just maybe, we could have been able to avoid all of the pitch encroachment and some of the incidents that did occur. But that notwithstanding, we have a new champion.
Who is the champion?
It is not the first time they're winning. This is now 8 times that Rangers International have won. Are you a Rangers
That's
fan?
Enugu Rangers, right?
Yes.
Hey.
Are you a Rangers fan? I don't understand.
Cataclysm, catastrophe, Inaboski, Bahuse.
Well,
It's time for sport.
congratulations to Rangers. We'll talk more about that right after now. Us this morning on Rapid Sports. The morning tonic you ingest once every 24 hours. Ogochukwu Madumere is my name, and this morning quite a lot on the front burner. We start by standing up for the champions of the 2023-2024 MPFL, and that's talking about the Flying Antelopes, Rangers International, who on Sunday were crowned champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League. And, we have quite a lot to talk about with regards to who survived the drop, who was relegated, and who indeed will be playing continental football next season. Euros 2024 and the Copa America still on right there in Germany. And we will be talking about all of the matches that have been going on. Lots of transfers trending as well. Ian Maatsen has now gone to Aston Villa from Chelsea. And without further getting delayed and without much ado, let's get on to the main event. And we start off with the Nigeria Premier Football League. Enugu Rangers were crowned champions of the MPFL for the 8th time in their history on Sunday. And they capped their season with a 2-1 win away from home at the New Jos Stadium against Gombe United. The league champions were welcomed into the main ball of the New Jos Stadium with a guard of honor by their relegated opponents, and general manager of Rangers, Amobi Ezaku, captained the Flying Antelopes for his second appearance in the league. Fidelis Ilechukwu's men were off to a flying start with 2 goals inside 7 minutes, courtesy of Kazim Ogunle and Gordon Obaje. Anas Hassan put one back for the Savannah Scorpions, but the Flying Antelopes didn't feel the sting, holding on to their lead and winning the title by 5 points. Enugu Rangers had sealed the league title last week and ended the season with 7 points. Now let's move on to the people who are coming after Rangers, and that's talking about Remo Stars and Eimba, with the title already settled before the final day. Second place Remo Stars and third place Eimba still found themselves in must-win situations to seal their place in the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup respectively. Well, as you can see from the table, Remo Stars will be playing CAF Champions League football next season. We'll have Eimba who will be playing the CAF Confederations Cup. And it is now left for us to know who will be joining Eimba in the CAF Confederation Cup when Abia Warriors tackle El Kanemi Warriors in what promises to be an exhilarating battle, a titanic tussle of warriors on the 29th of June in the President's Federation Cup. That moment we would know who will be joining Eimba in the CAF Confederation Cup. And of course, from the other side of the ladder, the quartet of Gombe United, Heartland of Owerri, and just yesterday it was confirmed that Doma United and Sporting Lagos will be playing in the NNL next season. Of course, you know they've already been replaced by El Kanemi Warriors, Nasarawa United, and of course 2 other clubs who will be playing in the Nigeria Premier Football League next season. That doesn't really look good for Gombe United and Doma United. 2 clubs from Gombe have now been relegated, and amongst the 4 of them, 2 of them are privately run. Talking about Sporting Lagos and Doma United. Now, that doesn't tell very much of how conducive the league is, especially for private investors, and how much of that we even have in the league. Now, the prize money, or the reward rather, for Rangers winning the league was 150 million naira. So this is what their reward is from winning the Nigeria Premier Football League. But guess what? It takes the least amount it takes to comfortably run a Nigeria Premier Football League is nothing less than 400 million. And what you peg as the prize money is 150 million. How do you now expect clubs who, largely a lot of the worries, a lot of the trouble that Doma had to face this season was because of management issues, players were being owed salaries, a lot of logistic issues that were not properly sorted. And I mean, you could see that replicated in some of the results that we had from Doma United. So I think the league organizers would have to do a whole lot better to make the league more attractive, especially for private investors. I mean, if I'm an investor and what it takes to run the league is nothing less than 400 million. And what I stand to gain if I win, which is a very big if, is 150. I mean, that doesn't tell a lot about profitability as a businessman. So the management of the MPFL might have to be a bit more serious when it concerns branding, rebranding, and making the league more attractive. Yes, you might want to say that Rangers gets to play in the CAF Champions League, where, of course, if they get to the group stage, that is where all the money comes. But then again, will they get to the group stage? And I think it should be more rewarding to win the Nigeria Premier Football League than what we have here. And talking about the results from match day 38, Inikene Remo took their destiny into their hands against Katsina United, winning 2-1 to seal the second spot and a continental ticket for the third time in their history. Well, the league's top assister and newly capped Super Eagles defender, Sodiq Ismail, waited till the last of the season to get a goal of his own for Remo's opener before Dio Ojo doubled the advantage. Well, those are, of course, the highlights from the game involving Rangers and Enyimba earlier this season. Former champions Enyimba, however, left it late in Aba as a 78-minute goal from Chijioke Mboma, who is, of course, the highest goal scorer for the league this season, and another from Alade Balogun in the 88th minute saw them beat Plateau United by 2-0. Where they held to a goalless draw, the third spot in the CAF Confederation Cup ticket would have gone to 3SC. That's talking about Shooting Stars, who beat Sporting Lagos 1-0 in Ibadan. So, like I told you, Enyimba striker Chijioke Mboma can see himself as 3.4 million naira richer for winning the MPFL Unicel Golden Boot with 17 goals. Each goal is valued by the sponsors at 200,000. Well, these are some of the areas that I think we can do better. How about ₦1 million for one goal? You know, in an event where he scored 17 goals, he'd have been walking away with 17 million naira. Well, before the final day, he led the goal chart with 16 goals, one more than Remo star Sikiru Alimi, and he added one more on Sunday to steer clear of his challenger who failed to score. The bullish striker started the season slowly, scoring just twice in his first 10 appearances, but he added more as soon as he broke his dog. Mboma succeeds his former Enyimba teammate, Emeka Obioma, as the winner of the award. Emeka Obioma also did play for Abia Warriors at some point. Well, despite Pendel Insurance's unimpressive performance this season, their goalkeeper, Almas Obasoge, was head and shoulder above other goalkeepers in the league with 18 clean sheets. He had 3 more than Kayode Bankole of Remo Stars and Kingdom Osai of Doma United, who both had 15. Title challengers last season with an unprecedented 21-game unbeaten record in the league. The Benin Arsenal finished the 2023-2024 season in the 9th position with 53 points. Well, I think that is understandable because one of the clubs with the highest draw record is Pendel Insurance. Is either they beat you or they draw you. They never allow you to win. But of course, they did lose that steez at some point in the season. Former champions Bayelsa United and Akwa United survived relegation on the final day. Kami and John really going to be excited about this one. Winners in 2009, Bayelsa United defeated Pendel Insurance 2-0 in Benin City, and 2021 champions Akwa United also recorded a 3-1 win over Rivers United at home to end the season with 49 points, I beg your pardon, in the 16th position. For all their woes throughout the season, both teams earned the right to be called winners by retaining their MPFL status on the final day. And now, those who are relegated, just one season in the MPFL, Sporting Lagos are back in the Nigerian National League, the second tier. They were doomed for relegation after a 1-0 defeat against 3SC in Ibadan. Well, all they needed from that game was a win to stand any chance. But even if they had won, they would still have been relegated because Bayelsa United won and Akwa United also won. So even if they won, it would have been difficult for them to retain their MPFL status. And so after one season in the MPFL, they go back to where they come from. Doma United, from finishing the first half of the season in 3rd place to being the team with the longest streak of matches without conceding a goal this season, 9. Doma unfortunately found themselves back in the second tier, where they ended their campaign with a 1-1 home draw against Abia Warriors. And of course, winless in their last 5 matches. Their fortunes began to dwindle in January, losing 12 matches plus 7 draws and just 3 wins. Now, let's talk about that was the mammoth crowd that came out at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, the Cathedral, to watch Enyimba play against their opponents, Rangers International. Now, let's talk about Remo Stars for a moment, who in their last decade have seen unprecedented success. Now, 2016 was when they gained promotion to the NPFL. They were relegated in their first season, and 2018 they came back again. 2019 they were relegated. In 2020 they were non-active because of the COVID. In 2021 they gained promotion to the NPFL. In 2022 they finished third. In 2023 they finished second. In 2024 they finished second. Who knows what will happen in 2025? Well, congratulations to the winners and to our qualifiers who will be representing us in the continent come next season. Well, away from the Nigeria Premier Football League, let's go to Cameroon in Douala, where we have lots of our athletes who are doing fantastically well. Talking about the likes of Ese Brume, Tokyo 2020 Olympics bronze medalist. Ese Brume did reclaim her Africa Women's Long Jump title, as well as her 4th, after topping the chart at the ongoing 2024 Africa Senior Athletics Championship yesterday in Cameroon. Brume came from 2nd place and landed a massive 6.73 meters in her last attempt to nick the title, ahead of Burkina Faso's Mathe Kowala, who was leading with 6.72 meters after 5 attempts. The 28-year-old had won the title in 2014 in Marrakesh and in 2016 in Durban and on home soil in Asaba in 2018, though her win was shy of the 6.86 meters 2024 Olympics qualification standard. Brume still has a ticket to Paris by ranking. Nigeria's Christina Ochonogo was also in action and finished 4th with a jump of 6.28 meters. In the women's high jump final, Nigeria's Temitope Adesina also won silver. The Nigerian record holder cleared a height of 1.84 meters to finish 2nd, behind Ghana's Rosie Eboa, who won the gold medal with a best effort of 1.87 meters. And we did also have Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owan Eno, who was present in Cameroon and, of course, was one of the dignitaries who came to the podium to award the athletes their medals. And you could see him looking with pride as he did also award a Nigerian a medal right there on the podium. We had Samuel Ogazi winning bronze in the men's 400 meters final in 45.47 seconds. They finished 3rd in the race, won by Sheikh Tidiane Touf of Senegal in 45.23 seconds, while Le Epie of Botswana was 2nd in 45.39 seconds. New national champion Dubem Amene was also in action and finished 7th in 46.27 seconds. Nigeria's new women's 400 meters champion Esther Joseph was also won bronze in a time of 51.94 seconds. But I mean, major headliner would be the phenomenal Ese Brume. We will hope to see the likes of Toby Amusa in action much later today and in the coming days in the important tournament. Now, still talking about women, 8th-time Nigeria Women Football League champions, Rivers Angels, are through to the final of the Women's Federation Cup and will face Nigeria Tels at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon, Lagos on Saturday. Rivers Angels booked their spot in the final on Sunday with a 2-1 win over rivals Delta Queens at the Oka City Stadium. The former champions stormed to an early lead in the semi-finals thanks to quick goals from Blessing Okekwe and, of course, Peace F. Young inside the opening 6 minutes. Maureen Okpala, however, put one back for Delta Queens on the stroke of half-time, but it wasn't enough to stop last year's finalists. So watch out for Nigeria Tels and, of course, Rivers Angels playing in the finals of the Women's Federation Cup. And in the men's event, well, a quick development there is that the finals, as against the MKO Stadium here in Abuja, it will now be played at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. This is courtesy of a release from the Nigeria Football Federation saying that, of course, the stadium will now host the final, the grand finale of the country's oldest cup competition right there on Saturday, the 29th of June, earlier scheduled for the MKO Stadium here in Abuja. which would have seen Abuja host the final for the first time in the competition's history. I was personally looking forward to being present at that game at the MKO Stadium. But now we understand that NFF and GTI have announced, or rather opted for, a good old venue on Lagos Island, which hosted the final of the competition consecutively between 1945 and 1972. Well, first known as Association Ground and then as King George V and later as Lagos City Ground. The venue later became the Onikon Stadium. After it was rebuilt in the 1980s, it became known as Mobolaji Johnson Arena in 2021. The last grand finale to take place at the famous venue was also a memorable one, and that was in 1972. Well, apart from the Johnson Arena on the waterfront, the city of Lagos has indeed hosted several other finals of the President's Federation Cup. The National Stadium in Surulere, built for the Second Africa Games that Nigeria hosted in 1973, hosted the grand finale between 1974 and 1987, as well as the 1990, 1991, 1995, 1996, 1999, 2001, and 2002 finals. The Teslim Balogun Stadium, adjacent to the National Stadium in Surulere, hosted the finale in 2007 and 2009, and then consecutively between 2011 and 2016. Now, this year's final, we see Rivers Angels confront Nigeria Tels in the women's event, while Abia Warriors of Umuahia will take on El Kanemi Warriors in the men's event. And of course, you do know where my loyalties lie as far as the men's final is concerned. Well, there can only be one winner, and it is Abia Warriors of Umuahia. Well, away from that now, let's talk a little bit about the Euros. We have the final round of matches. We started yesterday, and it is Germany and Switzerland who have officially qualified into the next round of the competition. Hungary, courtesy of their 1-0 win against Scotland, do stand a chance to qualify as one of the best losers. And it took a Nicholas Füllkrug stoppage time goal to secure a 1-1 draw for Germany against Switzerland. So they are still unbeaten right there in their attempt to win on home soil. Now, a little bit of the permutations, because apart from Scotland, who have now officially been eliminated from the competition, before yesterday, the only team that had absolutely no chance of reaching the round of 16 was Poland. Now, Group A is all done, is all settled now. Hungary stands a chance to qualify. Spain are through to the round of 16 as group winners. Italy will be through to the round of 16 as group runners-up if they avoid defeat against Croatia. And Italy will be unable to reach the round of 16 if they lose and Albania beat Spain. Albania also stand a chance if they beat Spain and Croatia beat Italy, providing Albania finish ahead of Croatia on overall goal difference or on overall goals scored. We also have Group C, where we have England up against Slovenia and Denmark versus Serbia. That will be happening tomorrow. England will be through to the round of 16 if they avoid defeat against Slovenia or Denmark do not beat Serbia. So England has an advantage there. In Group D, where we have Netherlands, Austria, France, and Poland, Poland is out. Netherlands will be through if they avoid defeat against Austria. Netherlands will win the group if they win and France do not, or if Netherlands draw and France lose. France will be through if they avoid defeat against Poland or if Austria do not beat Netherlands. A lot of permutations, but unfortunately, this is where the cookie will crumble, because he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Thank you so much for spending time listening to me talk sports. Tomorrow will be yet another day. Ugochukwu Majimere is my name. The Breakfast Show continues in just a moment.
All right, welcome back. It's still Rapi Dawn right here on channel 176 North Star Times. And even though our time is far gone, but we'll still be able to have a very brief conversation this morning with our guest, who luckily, was able to make it due to the very bad weather. Thank God, you finally made it. How are you doing this good morning?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning.
All right, so in the studio with us this morning, we have Okpe Lawrence Okpe, and he's many things. He's many things, from entertainment to lifestyle to, I think he's about to add religion, because we're talking about, because this morning on the show, we're going to be talking about how entertainment and religion, they seem to be like a disparity. They seem to be like, okay, the other day there was a video that was online that, I think you saw that video, go, the guy who was doing it's a secular song, but he was doing it in a gospel way in a church. And I think even yourself, you frowned, you were like, huh, what's this? This is too much. And so at what point can the two marry? That is, if at all they can marry. And that will form a bit of our conversation this morning on the show. So entertainment, religion, how the guys in entertainment are viewed by those in the religious aspect. And that is what Okpe is going to be discussing with us this morning. Hope you're ready to dish out all the fires.
Let's go.
All right. Okay, so first of all, let's start with entertainment and religion. Do they ever come together at any point?
Yes, they do. Because from my view, from my perspective of entertainment, I don't see it to be what every other person, especially the religious persons, must have seen it to be. Like, for me, entertainment is about dishing out information in a pleasurable way, in an amusing way, in such a way that people who are the audience would enjoy viewing it, right? Which, one, by my description, is not a sin.
Okay.
Secondly, is not a distraction. For me, where the mismatch comes in is when it comes to the kind of content, the choice of words. That's where I think the mismatch comes in. If not, I am of the opinion that even a gospel artist should be able to, find himself somehow doing some kind of songs that you may call secular, like love songs. And
You mean
the likes.
motivational songs, you mean?
Motivational, you may want to choose, but I also add up love songs. Just choose your words and make sure you are not saying things that some kind of people may not be able to hear.
So does that also afford the opportunity for a secular artist to dabble into gospel?
Well, you may have a problem with the person, right? Because you think the person is a secular artist. What kind of music does the person even do as a secular artist? Because I don't know if I'm free to call names in this program.
Names
Timmy
of
Apollo
artists? Okay.
does gospel. For me, he also does secular. Yes, and he's a full-blown gospel artist. I know he is.
Some people will not address him as such.
Let's break it down here now.
Yeah.
Let's break it down now. Who is a gospel artist? Because I was doing one or two findings about gospel songs. Now, what is the gospel? The gospel is the good news of Christ, his death, birth, and resurrection.
Yes.
So, are you now saying that just because the song is carrying, probably is carrying some good words that are Christian-like, means it's a gospel song? Even if the song isn't talking about the death, birth, and resurrection of Christ, because this still pass as a gospel
we
song?
already had a separation. Like I said, gospel, and I mentioned secular. So if you're talking about gospel, we're talking about his death, his resurrection, and all you have said. But I said, if you're trying to describe gospel songs, these are the things we look out for, right? Secular is different from gospel. That one is basic. What I'm trying to say is, nothing is wrong for a gospel artist to do secular. I'm not saying secular is gospel or gospel is secular. I'm only saying that I don't see anything wrong for a gospel artist to do a secular song, like a love song, like an inspirational song. I'm speaking from my own point of view. It may
So
not
how
be-
would you honestly feel, since we're dropping names, how would you honestly feel if a Nathaniel Bassey tomorrow drops a song and it doesn't necessarily appeal to the spiritual senses.
Now, are you considering calling the name Jesus in a song as a gospel song?
That's why I said it appeals to the spiritual senses. It's not about whether there's Jesus in it or if it has any impute of religious
If Nathaniel
slangs.
Bassey decides to do, for instance, a gospel song, for instance, an inspirational song, what am I feeling bad for? It doesn't take the Spirit of God in him out. God is love. No, he doesn't. He doesn't take the Spirit of God. He doesn't. If I see, what's his name now? The guy that just got married now, Moses Bliss. He did a love song for his fiancée or for his wife now, presently.
Yeah.
He did a love song. Did we complain? It's not a problem doing doing a gospel song is not a restriction. I don't think it is. No,
Okay,
it's not totally a restriction.
So I think that if I get you correctly, or if we want to be clear now, you are focusing on a gospel artist dabbling into love songs. So imagine, let's say,
Or inspirational.
imagine, let's say,
Just
a
don't use
Timaya.
these words. Okay.
Imagine a Timaya now says, okay, he's in the mood to do something, something that would buy the people in the church fold, and then he goes to feature. He says, okay, he wants to feature, let's say, this guy that sang Agbero for Christ, Jago, what's his name, that sang Agbero for Christ. And then Timaya says he wants to feature that guy. How would you receive such collaboration?
Fine. Now let's even take it this way instead. First, who even told you that Timaya? Okay, maybe because of his choice of words, you may have described him as whatever you have in mind. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Not what I have in mind.
I don't want to mention. But now, when it comes to gospel, secular artists doing gospel, there is a little problem. The song doesn't become gospel because the secular artist decided to impress those in the gospel field. It doesn't become a gospel song because the person is important when it comes to gospel. It's not just about, that's why I said it's not just about the song. Now, it's not about calling Jesus. You may mention Jesus from the beginning of a song to the end, and it's still not a gospel song.
So
If Timaya decides to do a song with flavor, and then it's a gospel song, it's a song that because by gospel now we're trying to describe the content used. Yeah. And they mention Jesus, Holy Spirit, Jesus died, he resurrected, thank you, Lord, and all that. It still doesn't make it a gospel song because we are concerned about the person singing also. Is a person spirit-filled?
So it's fine.
Person born
it's
again.
fine for gospel singers to do a little bit of what is not so gospel, but it's a problem if secular artists want to do something.
Now, when you say not so gospel, I'm also having a problem with that.
Okay.
I am very clear. I'm not choosing words. I'm not hiding anything. I said it is secular. It's not so gospel. Gospel is gospel, secular is secular. Do you understand? So if Timmy comes up and saying, we are, na 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 na.
That's not a gospel song.
It's not a gospel song.
No.
Purely not a gospel song. It's a secular song, if you would want to call it that way. Nothing is wrong with it. Nothing, like absolutely nothing is wrong with it. He is lending his voice to the piece of
Advocacy more.
do you understand? Let's not restrict ourselves to these days now we've even jumped into chanting and so many things is coming out now, and then that's what we want to describe as gospel songs. Now fine, it has to be a song driven from the Spirit of God, his death, his resurrection. That is a gospel. Secular has their own. The only separation, the thin line there is, what are the choice of words used?
Look, even when the right words are used, let me paint a very quick picture for you. Spyro, he is a secular artist, but he likes to address himself as a Jesus boy. In fact, he did a song that trended. I'm trying to remember the song he did with Tiwa Savage. He did the original and then later featured Tiwa Savage. In fact, there was an instance where a pastor was singing the song to his his congregation, I beg your pardon. And then another pastor was now calling out that other pastor that sang the song to his congregation, you know, saying it doesn't make sense, especially considering the fact, I mean, when you listen to the song, no bad words were used, but he was now coming from the angle of, why would you feature somebody who has done lots of bad songs, if you get what I mean now, bad songs, and then you go and carry the person to go and feature in a song while you also address yourself as a Jesus boy. So, I mean, what would you say about that climb, or those group of Christians who believe that, Oga, if it's gospel you want to do, be gospel. If it's if you want to do secular, be secular.
Well, yes, if you want to do gospel, do gospel. If you want to do secular as a gospel artist, you can still do secular. Those people who feel if you want to do gospel, I think they are just being religious. Because beyond you being a gospel artist, beyond you being spirit-filled, we are still on earth and there are many things happening here. For instance, the present economic issues. We could lend our voices for certain things through songs.
Even as Christians.
Even as Christians. It doesn't take your salvation will not be stolen from you by doing that. Will not be taken from you by doing that. We could still lend our voice to political issues somehow through songs. The influence we get, don't we? Some of us work in other secular environments now. We work in other secular environments that even sometimes deprived us of even church activities. We are here now. They may be running a service in your church. Are you there? Does it take away your salvation? We are still on earth. So, and when it comes to music, so many things happen. I studied theater art, so I see some of these things differently, right? I feel, the gospel, whether be it gospel or secular or whatever, the most important thing there is the content. For that of gospel, like I said, being spirit-filled and all that, you are conscious about what you're doing. Your songs is from the Spirit of God. It's concerned about his death and his resurrection and all that. Then when it comes to a gospel artist trying to dish out a song that is not necessarily talking about death and resurrection, it should be your choice of word, the content. Where some of us might. Let me know if we say this on it. I have pastor's friends who sing, is it Bob Marley now? And some of those guys who you may see with their dada and all that and just think, but their words. Some of the songs are about peace.
Those are conscience songs.
Of course, yes. It's about peace. Some is about awareness on certain issues. What is wrong with those songs? You should be, I think the gospel artist should be flexible enough. Now, you talked about a gospel artist featuring a secular artist.
He is not a gospel artist. In fact, Spyro is a secular artist, but he likes to identify as a Jesus boy.
That's
who is him. Now in the secular space trying to.
That's an artist trying to buy this party and buy this party. That's a political artist. Trying to buy the church and trying to buy the secular. He's just trying to be a marketer and then be everything in one, because he knows that if the Flavor did a song the other time, God, you are the most high, hallowed be your name.
Is that a gospel song?
That's not a gospel song, because the person who sang it, is it spirit filled? Is it born again? Have you seen him perform on stage before, live? I don't want to say I'm condemning, because you can't really tell so much who is spirit-filled and who is not. You don't do it by sight. Do you understand? But at least out of Flavor is obvious. The guy no send you. Do you understand? So, it's not, if he likes, let him sing, Jehovah, you died and resurrected it today. It is not a gospel song.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But if a gospel artist comes up now and do a song like Chris Ade, my friend, did a song on about the nation and all that and where something like that. He talked about life and all that. That doesn't stop him from being a gospel artist. He just lended his voice as concerning the issues of life. And we are still in this world. And when you say secular, what are we even talking about? No, when you say secular, what you're putting on now, where we are now is not a spiritual environment, it's a secular environment.
You can also call it commercial music.
commercial, still fine. Just make sure, see, music, and it goes beyond, I mean, it's music. Music goes beyond quite a lot of things we are restricting it to. If your voice is not being lended to what is happening in your community, maybe God has given you a voice as a gospel artist, and you don't have concern about anything happening in your community or in your country, because you just want to sing about his death and resurrection, and where you have a voice is in music, and we're not saying you use that music to impact in that other side which you may have called secular, fine. I think you are restricting yourself in a way.
Okay, in the few minutes that we have, right, let us, so that someone doesn't watch and get confused or say, oh, Okpe said there's nothing wrong. I can put one leg here, put another leg here, and the trouser will still fit. Let's now break it down. The secular music, also known as the commercial music, where we have the likes of Flavor, D'banj, Tiwa Savage, and the likes. Then we have the gospel, where we have the Nathaniel Bassey, Dusi, Mercy Chinwo, Ada, and the likes. Then we have the inspirational music / motivational sound, where we have people like Dari Atalade, where we have people like what's his name you mentioned at the time? Timi Dakolo. Where we have people like Ellie J, where we have people like now. I had to break this down so that we can now know which set of people can easily switch and those who should not switch for any reason.
Now, I am even wondering how you got to make it 3, right? Inspirational and the
Yes, the inspirational music.
But if you ask me, Timi is not an inspirational artist.
What will you call
he's
him?
He's a gospel artist. Leave it at that.
Majority of his songs are love and inspiration.
Majority of the song.
Yes, I've not really seen an outright gospel song of a
Have you heard
Timi
Chris
Dakolo.
Morgan's love songs before? You've not. Okay, so I think well, you broke it into 3. Now, if you are a secular artist, just know that any song you sing calling Jesus and all that doesn't make the song a gospel song. Just know that. Because it has to do, are you born again? Have you repented? Do you have the Spirit of God in you? Do you believe in his death and his resurrection and all that? So what comes from you becomes a gospel song when we know you have been redefined, you have been brought into Christ. You're born again, you know. So when it comes from you like that, we believe we'll call your song a gospel song, and that's the reason why Flavors, that very song, is not considered a gospel song. Then, if you are a gospel artist and then you do the inspirational, like she decided to call it, and then motivational or something that has to do with societal matters, economic issues, you just did a song to lend your voice that's concerning a matter, sometimes on issue of rape, sometimes on issue of all that. I see it doesn't change you from being a gospel artist. Now, let me even dive a little bit further. Let's even leave music. Let's even enter acting, because it affects everywhere. I am an actor also, and then over time you see people tell you, what are you doing in acting? This one, that place is this. God has not surrendered any field to the devil. He hasn't. Why do we go to church? We go there, we get upgraded or updated with the word of God. We go to wherever we serve or wherever we function, and then represent Christ there. So if, okay, soldiers who are, don't we have soldiers who are believers? When they go to the field, what did the Bible say? Thou shalt not kill. When you go there and an enemy is coming, what will you do? You shoot. Let me tell you a brief story if there's still time. My friend dragged me to, his wife was about delivering, so he begged that I drive them to the hospital. On getting there, you know, the anxiety, first child thing, he doesn't know how it works. You know, he was just outside, he was just restless. And doctor asked him to come inside. He went inside, and I was outside just, you know, trying to, he said, come inside. I said, how would you ask me to? He said, come inside now. You know, he wasn't himself. I stepped in, and then the doctor saw me, but I was shocked. He didn't ask me to go outside, probably because the guy asked me to come inside. But when the doctor was about doing his job, he just, you know, those processes, the guy go outside now. I said, now you see my come inside now. Why did he ask me to go out and not ask the doctor, who is also a man, to go out? It is because that guy, one, is doing his job, and two, is about to solve a problem. So until you begin to see entertainers as not just entertainers, as people who are out to solve problems, some of us are called theater artists. The same theater we entered that they're about doing all of this. We do the same thing through entertainment. If we look at societal issues, now I'm trying to link it to what I said earlier on. If we look at societal issues and we see that, no, this issue is becoming a very big issue in the society, maybe rape or something. We look at it and say, let's draw a story from this and solve this problem through acting. Why are we bothered about Christian brothers acting as Abalis in film? I mean, we are okay with them acting as Abalis in film, but we are bothered about them smoking in the film. Which one is even worse? Now, the issue is not about, I think we need to come to the understanding of what this thing even is first. A layman can call acting or all that anything they want to call it, but if you know what it is, why did they change your name? Why am I not bearing Lawrence in a film? The last film I did, Black or White, I was a rapist. Why was my name not Lawrence?
You acted as a rapist?
Yes.
Okay.
Acted as a rapist. Acted as a rapist. Yes, that's it. Why was I not bearing Lawrence? Was it me? I kissed there because as a rapist, that's the process. Is that not the process? You will kiss now, then you will do other things and then all that and all that. But when do you know, after acting that role, when they said we're done, I cried for more than 30 minutes. The director may be watching this. I cried, I couldn't, it was as if I actually did. Why was I crying? That's not me. So you need to begin to see these things from different perspectives. Gospel artists, you want to talk about issues that concern the society that you still are, and you will still be until your death. Nothing is wrong. Choice of words. Can we sing this song and not get bothered? Can this song be played where children are? Can a believer just sing the song and not be bothered about what is coming out of his mouth?
Shake your bum bum.
Of course, you shouldn't sing that.
Okay.
When it begins to get to that point, you are, I don't want to call you an entertainer now, but you've gone beyond entertainment. That's extreme entertainment. For me, that's extreme entertainment. Because entertainment is not about bum, 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 bum. It has been, I run a pageant, Face of Art Nigeria Beauty Pageant, right? When immediately when people just say you are into pageantry, ha! But I worked with someone who showed me the real face of pageantry as it is, and I said, no, somebody needs to come up with something that contradicts what has been existing.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I think you've given a good perspective, a balanced perspective to these things. It was needed before we end the show so that people get a clear understanding of what it is. So you just know when to draw the line. I think that was last year. When Dusi had administration somewhere in Abuja, and he said something about some of you, when we check your Spotify roundup list for the year, the dominant artists, and you call yourself a Christian, the dominant artists are Shake, Rema, and the likes. How then are you? How then are you a child of God? Actually. So I think that you've given perspective to this thing. So whichever field that you find yourself, it's all about the message.
The message.
It's all about what you're bringing out. Thank you so much, Okwe Lawrence Okwe, for having this conversation with us.
Thank you.
And I do hope that another time you would come early. The weather will be in your favor,
Okay,
and you
Yes,
would
please.
be able to give us a full. I mean, because I know that you used to have more things to say,
Yeah,
but
of
due to
course.
time, we can't continue. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, this is where we wrap up for today. I mean, 7 o'clock till now. It's been a great morning with you. I won't miss you so much because I know I'll be here Tuesday. So, but you try not to miss me. And you can follow us on our social media platform on Facebook and on Instagram. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then our website.
www.rbnradiotv.com. Gochukwu Mademere is my name.
Bye.
Okay.